even need me to get down. Do a little Rosie for y'all.
Oh, yeah. over the desk, Zydeco play bars. Yes, we.
Bien, merci, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes, sir. That's how we
what
do
true,
it.
hey?
I want y'all to excuse my
What you,
voice. I
hey?
have a
Yeah,
little
you're right.
head cold, a little sore throat, so, you know, I'm not at 100, but thank y'all for dancing anyway. Well, thank you. I like that. That's what you get when you let your daughter dress you. All right, we're going to do a little something called Work That Body, baby.
Drop down.
Let's see. This is the one I want, not this one. There we go. All right. Starting a little bit late today, but that's all right. I couldn't find my blue hat to complete my 4th of July ensemble. It's too hot though. I need some short sleeve shirts. All right, I'm gonna turn Rosie down. Where are you, Rosie? Over here. All right. Little underscore music. Whew, it's hot. I'll tell you what, everybody out there watching. Once again, it's kind of a new setup on my back end. I'm not sure. I'm trying something slightly different. Now all the chats are spread out this way, that way. So I gotta look in different places to see everybody checking in here. Let me check out my hat. Let's see. How's that? That's alright. I can live with it. That's what I could think of to get going on here. But like I said, it's hot. I'm up here on the 3rd floor. I don't have the air conditioners in yet. We do have the windows open. At least the smoke from Canada is not here today. That's really good. I like pretty much everything else from Canada though, but not the smoke. So, trying to stay cool. Gonna open up this seltzer right here from Aldi's. Okay, we got 4th of July on a Tuesday. I looked it up. Let's see. All right, hey Mariko. Happy 4th of July. Hey Tom Accordion. Let's see, how do I float over? Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to get all my chats set up here. There is a thing that like brings all the chats together, but I tried setting it up a different way today, and now that it doesn't, I don't have all the chats together, so I want to make sure that I'm able to get to everybody. There we go. All right, good. So if you're watching this means, or if you're listening to this means it means nothing, I guess. It means you could be anywhere. Maybe it's your house, maybe you're driving, maybe you're out in the backyard. Today, you know, I was thinking about what an accordion stream, a live stream about exploring accordion music would look like on the 4th of July. And the immediate thing that came to my mind is, well, accordionists playing patriotic music, but that's not anything that I want to listen to. I got to tell you the truth. I did find one version, or at least not for 2 hours. No way. So I did find one cool version that we'll listen to, and then I have a perennial favorite 4th of July song that I want to hear every single year, and there's actually a certain version of it that I like the best. I couldn't find that, but I found another version. Anyways, okay, so what else do we got going on? The overview of today's stream. We're going to start with the book club. So I've been talking up the book club. I had originally said on the first book club meeting, welcome to July, by the way, we would do the first 2 chapters, but I think that's too much. The first chapter is really short. It's like 14 pages long, and I think that's great. So if you're watching this live or on the replay, maybe this inspires you to get the book and read along with us, so you can jump in, you know. Reading is fun, can be fun sometimes. I don't know. I haven't been a big reader in my life. But these days there's just so many ways to sort of read and scan and consume information. I don't know. Anyway, Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit the book club thing pretty soon, and that won't take too long, maybe 20 minutes or so. I think I have something fun to do with it. Try to make it active. Active learning, active sharing. I'm not just gonna be reading boring things from the book, and I assume that only maybe a few of us have the book so far, but I might be surprised. That's cool. And let's see. Then after that, we're gonna check out Zydeco music, and I'll show you what I have, what I collected about the Zydeco music. What I learned. Well, I'll tell you when I get there. What I learned is I really need to have a guest on who knows about Zydeco, because I don't know that much, and there's not like, I'm not happy with the breakdowns that I've seen on there. So we're just gonna enjoy a bunch of really good music. And then last but not least, we'll finish with a little bit of patriotic music towards the end. And I'd love it if anybody in the chat wants to contribute some YouTube links of, patriotic tunes or tunes that you associate with the 4th of July. It does not have to be on the accordion. It can be any kind of music. But the thing that I got to stress is it's got to be a live version that has not made it onto a record that's been uploaded to Spotify, Apple Music, etc. That's where they get us. So you got to make sure. There's a pretty YouTube recently made a change to the way they do music, and now it's pretty easy to see if the algorithm of the video has caught something that's made it there. It's pretty easy to find that out. I can show you guys that real quick, just because I think that's good to know. So let's see. Let's go back over here. Let's go to. That was what we were listening to. Rosie, Ledet. I need something that might have. Let's just search Zydeco here. Oh yeah, it's doing that weird thing. Okay. Nope, not Zydeco. Zydeco. Okay, so for example, I'm not gonna let this play. Don't play. Okay, so this one, if we go down here and we head under this, yeah, okay, it looks like there's nothing on here that would be uploaded. Now let me see if I can find one that is okay, here. So here's, we've got Zydeco Diva. That's the tune by Lil Nathan and the Zydeco Big Timers. If I scroll down, I think what we're gonna find here is, yeah, it knows this, and then also, well, they gotta upload it. Cha Cha Records here. All right, so you gotta check under here. There's one more thing that I was thinking of that you can find. See if I can find it on one of these. Well, this is a record. Ooh, don't play. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Enough of that stuff. So, yeah, let's get right on to the book club. I think that'll be good. Hey, Duck Brook. All right, reporting in from Maine. Like I said, it's hot and it's humid, really humid. Up here on the 3rd floor, where all the heat from the house goes, it's like its own climate up here on the 3rd floor. 2nd floor, cool. Cool. 1st floor, cool. 3rd floor, hot and humid. I want to report on the humidity that we have here. I'm originally from the West Coast. Not a lot of humidity there. Let's see what we got here. Let's check this out. I'm curious. Humidity. All right, 66%. Can't complain about that. That's nothing for a lot of places. I'm still gonna complain though. Alrighty, so here let's talk about this. So I have a little close that up, get this one going here. All right, so we're gonna talk about the first chapter of this book, Pablo Casal's, and the art of interpretation. Why are we reading this book? Why am I reading this book? And you all have the opportunity to get a copy and read along with me. Because this dude, Pablo Casal's, considered, one of the greatest cello masters of all time, and certainly one of the greatest of the 20th century. He was an epic teacher, very, very a prolific teacher, and he had a lot of wisdom and knowledge about the sort of simple, natural laws of musicality, of expression on music. And his genre was classical music, concert repertory music. As both a virtuosic soloist, like he, as a really young person, he was like performing debuts of things, and he was a super phenom. And then as he matured into a great artist, and known in through the 50s and 60s. And there's a lot of stuff online. There are numerous documentaries made about his life, and a video of him doing master classes and rehearsing orchestras and stuff. That's another thing that he did that you learn in the first. There's like two prologues and an introduction or something like that to this book, and they're really interesting. And they talk, because I don't really know anything about Pablo Casals prior to cracking open this book. One of the things we learn is that he is considered a great conductor as well, which is cool for somebody that's such a great musician. So the chapter, I came up with a fun little thing to share. So what I'm gonna do is kind of share the vibe of the first chapter. What's not more than the vibe. I'm gonna read some things, some parts that I think are worth sharing verbatim, but also I have some audio examples. So one of the things is all throughout the book are these little, hey, Monodonia, welcome. All throughout the book are these little examples of music, and what's there is both like what would be in the score that you'd get, and also like Pablo Casals is in the parentheses here. You can see there's a little legato that's part of the parentheses, and a legato here, and in the parentheses here, there's some dynamics that weren't there. So all throughout the book, the author, which is David Bloom, he provides us with these little music examples along with that fit the text. So when they're talking about Beethoven's Eroica, or I don't know, Yannick's Symphony or whatever, there's like a little 2-bar, example with some markings, like, here's what Pablo would do to it, which is like kind of cool. But I can sight sing decently, I can read and kind of get some idea of it, but I don't know most of this music very well at all. So it's like not super useful to me. So what I'm going to endeavor to do for my own understanding and to make this interesting to share is I'm going to try to incorporate, YouTube examples and stuff. And I think I have one. So here's the little puzzle or game for you. As long as you're sticking around, able to stick around today on the 4th of July, while we're doing this book club. The title of the first chapter is The First Principle. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what the author says the first principle is until the end of this book club segment. I am going to give you all the examples that are used, and I want you to see, I'll be interested, the chat, kick in, only if you haven't read the chapter. I'll ask you at the end, before I tell you what, given everything we talked about, what is the first principle, right? So, starting at the very top. I hope none of my little examples give it away. I don't think they do. I think they just illustrate it without stating it specifically or verbatim. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read this first, and then we're going to listen. This is the little activity. All right, so permit me to read. Here it is. This is exactly the words of David Bloom, the author. I recall one morning when Casals rehearsed Wagner's Siegfried Idyll. The, quote, symphonic birthday greeting to his Cosima from her Richard. That was Richard Wagner's wife, which was written in commemoration of their son's birth. That's the birth of Wagner's son, Wagner and his wife's son, Cosima. After the opening bars had been played very beautifully, Pablo Casals stopped the orchestra that he was rehearsing. I'm adding some little stuff in there so we understand. Pablo Casals closed his eyes, and he quietly clasped his hands together. For a long moment he became quite still, absorbed in contemplation. His transfigured expression reflected a oneness with the spirit from which this music is born. And that oneness, or that spirit, is infinite devotion and the most profound love, the profoundest love. Then, without a single word, he indicated that the orchestra should begin again. Aware or not of how or why they had been moved, the musicians in the orchestra brought to their playing a more inward quality of feeling, drawn from a source of deep tenderness, and from this source, the entire work sang as if shimmering from a golden mirror. Although Casals paused to rehearse points of detail, the continuity of feeling remained unbroken. The long transitional passage has never been played more delicately woven. The trills were suspended, and then he goes on to his writerly stuff. But we don't need those words because we can hear some examples of it. Okay, so to restate and rephrase, I'm not the greatest narrator. I seem to get worse at speaking as I'm getting older. Anyways, so Pablo Casals, he kind of embodied this spirit, you know, the emotional spirit of this piece of music, which is the birth of a child, and the joy and ebullience of that, the infinite devotion and the profoundest love, in the words of David Bloom, right? So he felt it, and then everybody was just transfixed by this guy who's your leader. That's a lot of what we're gonna get in this chapter is stories of Pablo Casals as the person to mimic, you know, the person to take guidance from, the guide, and then just by being around him and feeling that emotional energy, everybody got it, made their way to that same place, and then played together as an orchestra, much more in contact with that, which is pretty cool, to say the least. So here's a little activity for that. I have prepared a playlist of different versions of Siegfried Idol by Wagner, and we're gonna listen to them, the beginning of them, and we're gonna see which ones that we feel convey this feeling, which make us feel the most. And I would say let's try to understand the music as Pablo Casals does, which is, this is about the birth of a child, the deep source of tenderness. Where was it? Right here. Infinite devotion and profoundest love. So I'm gonna play a few, and you'll let me know. Gotta get to my playlist here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you want to see them or just hear them? May as well. It's a visual medium. Okay. Gotta switch to the other browser window. Here we go. All right. So the first one is the Norwegian Chamber Orchestra. Okay, here we go. I had muted my microphone for the beauty of that. Okay, that's one. Now this one is Frankfurt, the Frankfurt Radio Orchestra. Okay, that's that one. The next one is the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra. All right, that's our test point. Okay. And so think about which one makes you feel the most and which one maybe makes you feel the least. All right, so we got two more. Here's the Oslo Philharmonic. Okay, and the last one. This is at the Proms, which is a British thing. This is the this is the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra again, just a different performance. Okay. So, anybody out there? Is there one that you liked more than the others? One that you felt conveyed the spirit of a hey Magnus. Hey Courtney. All right. Thanks, man. Courtney's complimenting my my outfit. Let's see. Hey, Mark. Just reaching out to people watching. So I'm not seeing anybody chiming in the chat. Maybe this was a little too abrupt. But for me, I'll show you which one I feel from. And it's the one that is the slowest. It was the very first one. I'm going to play the first one again. They take it slower. And there's something about it that is more feeling to me. This one. There's more tenderness in that slowness. There's something about it. I love how long they take that note. Also, I noticed there's no conductor, which is kind of funny given that this is under the frame of this guy, Pablo Casals, and his leadership. I don't know if there are some orchestras that don't have a conductor. I don't know if that's the case with this Norwegian Chamber Orchestra, but anyways, that one's my favorite. I'm gonna look back at the chat. Okay, now we got some answers. I appreciate it. Duck Brook says I like the first video the best. Me too. Okay. Tom Accordion says, I think number 2 had the most dynamic range, but I like the expressiveness of the number 5 violin. I agree with you, Tom. There was something about that first violin. There was this one held note that the violinist did like this kind of vibrato and a decrescendo crescendo thing that was like, whoa. bringing that line to life. This is really fun. When I was younger, I lived in Philadelphia. I've lived in Philadelphia a couple times, but they were doing all of the Beethoven symphonies. And I saw the first symphony performed by the same orchestra and the same conductor, I think 3 different times. And I remember that being really an illuminating moment because the conductor did it differently, even though I'd seen him, 3 days apart or something like that. The opening, it starts with this big dominant 7 chord. And I distinctly caught on that he did it a few different ways. And I was like, I don't have a whole lot of experience in the classical repertoire world, but I was like, whoa, you can do that? That's so cool. It's very, very cool. I want to check out that violin that Tom noticed, that I noticed. I think that was this one. Yeah, the Proms. Okay. So check out the first violinist, who's not the guy to the conductor's right. We don't see him until a moment. Okay. All right. We don't need to go back through all of them, but cool. Pardon me while I zoom around to the others. Okay, we got some answers from the other chats. All right. Oslo, because the solo violin was quite audible and the tempi was a bit slower. Yeah, Oslo. Okay. Well, let's check out the Oslo one. So that's Courtney saying that he likes the Oslo one. Let's re-listen to the Oslo. They were this one. Here's Oslo. And they're a much smaller orchestra. It's like a reduction. It is slower, Courtney. You can feel the breath in there. Okay. Yeah, great. All right. So, why do we do that? For the book club. So, Pablo Casal's the first little story in this chapter, of which is a collection of anecdotes, essentially, of Casal's working with orchestras on various points of music and finding the musical, I'll keep going. All right, so continuing, I'm not going to read the whole time. But it's good to connect it to the book. So Casals said of this phrase, although it is pianissimo, every note must sing. And then at the entrance of the horn, which we didn't make it to that part yet in the music, but Casals stopped, desperate for words. Finally, he blurted out, "Joy! It is the announcement of the birth of his son. He is so happy." And then the author says, "I've never heard anyone so utterly express the meaning of a given word as did Casals. When he said the word joy, lovely, tender, each word conveyed a resonance of feeling," which I think is very cool to contemplate, to imagine. And it makes me think, one of the things that I was thinking about reading this book, or reading this part, was like, it kind of reminds me of stuff that I've heard about gurus. You know, they like I had a period where I was kind of into that guy Ram Dass, and Ram Dass has a guru, and he talks about just being near him. You know, you start weeping. You can't. You get close to this person. They don't even do anything, and you're overcome with all this feeling. I'm not saying Casals is a guru, or I'm not saying anything about this. Just that what that makes me think of is this kind of giant charisma, I might call it, the ability for somebody to feel things so much, and for other humans around them to feel that same thing. Pretty cool as far as a leader is concerned. A guide. That's a good way to do it. Alrighty. Okay, so to continue through the chapter, I have another note, so I'm going to read this. Okay, so this sense of wonder, of touching upon an original experience, was the essence of Casals' art. The manner in which this wonder is crystallized into supreme music making was the secret of his greatness. Okay. So then moving more through the chapter, it's only 14 pages, although we spent the majority on the first 2 or 3 pages of this chapter. So then there are subsequent, in the rest of this chapter, there are more and more examples of different contrasting styles. So right after this, the first little story is about the joy, the pleasure of the birth of a child, and the joy around that. Then immediately after that, the next story is about pain, about this work by Schumann, the cello concerto, which maybe I should have that pulled up too. In fact, I'm not going to do the same listening to a whole bunch of versions of this, but we may as well hear what he's talking about. Let's see. And so in this little few paragraphs about this Schumann, it's just meant to show another quality, another emotional quality, another story about Casals instructing in the rehearsal to that you got to understand what the music is about, and it's about pain. And they talk about Schumann and what he was going through at that time. Let's see, I'll go here. Let's listen to a little bit of this pain. Shoot, that one says it's on music. Hang on, we gotta find a live version. That's not. Sorry, guys. Hopefully this one is not. Do you feel appropriate amounts of pain? I don't know. What I really wish is we could have, we could hear all these examples, because talking about music is an abstraction of it. I was writing all this reading about thinking about stuff makes me think about stuff, get really into my head. I sent a WhatsApp chat to my friend. I was like, oh, the best part of living is not sublimating what's happening. If it's like a brain thing, let it be a brain thing. If it's a heart thing, let it be a heart thing. But anyways, okay. So that piece is about pain, and I won't go into the details of it. Another little section for me to read. So the author, David Bloom, says, for Casals, the formulation of feeling and the interpretation of music emanated from a single source and flowed together in a single stream. Notes which stood apart from this stream were cold and without meaning. So this is this first chapter is to give us an overview of what's titled the first principle. Okay, so then there's another, after that little paragraph, then there's another example, which is about a Dvorak. I'm not sure how to pronounce that composer's name, but concerto, and they talk about that. Let's see, did I have anything else to? And they go on, different examples. Mozart's in there, and then how they talk about how Casals. I guess this from, again, a lot of you out there are probably much more familiar with interpreting classical music, or the larger genres of classical music: Baroque, Romantic, Classical, and the contemporary modern contemporary music. Anyways, and there's something about, okay, well, we don't want to play it with too much emotion if it's from this period or that period. And without giving a whole lot of examples, they say that Casals, he said, no, like, we remember that when this music was written, it wasn't considered classical. People lived it, and so let's find the appropriate way to make it very feeling of whatever it's supposed to be about. Cool. And they give some examples of Mozart and other composers. Okay, so here I have another couple more little sections to read. Very short. Here's one sentence I've underlined. His aim, that's Pablo Casals, his aim exceeded technical perfection. It was to reveal the power of life inherent in music. How about that? That's pretty much the first principle right there, although I'm still going to ask you, what is the first principle? And then one more little last second. I think this is the last thing for me to read, I think. No. A remark that Casals often made, and which typified him as a man and musician, was, quote, play frankly. Play frankly. He would apply these words to the end of a phrase which had to convey a sense of completeness. To play frankly is not to eschew subtlety and refinement. It is to play where the music so demands, forthrightly and without sentimentality. I like that a lot. See, let me read that again, because this is a statement that I think is I resonate with. I take something from. I'll say that again. So, the author's interpretation of this, because these are not the words of Casals himself. This is the words of David Bloom, who knew Casals for many years towards the end of his life. To play frankly is not to eschew subtlety and refinement. It is to play where the music so demands, forthrightly, without sentimentality, to state what we feel unashamedly and unhesitatingly. And I think that's great. I like that it pointed out sentimentality. I don't normally think about sentimentality, or I think prior to its inclusion in this little paragraph about to play frankly, I might think, well, sentimentality, that's connection with a great feeling, but it's not really, is it? Or it's maybe sublimated, there's a layer upon that emotion, or at least in this example of it. And I think that's very interesting for me to consider and to think about. Oh yeah, okay, just like the example of Casals kind of saying, well, let's play this Beethoven piece as though we're living in the period of Beethoven, that this is a new thing that we're just hearing, This is not something that's 100 years old. So sentimentality itself is sort of an abstraction, or there's a layer over that feeling, and we're not quite in the moment, right? Which I would say, in my own language, it was what Pablo Casals is kind of all about. All right, so that being said, and there was that one thing that I read that kind of gave it away, but what is the first principle? Or what would you say based on the amount in the chapter that I've shared? And while I'm waiting for things to come up in the chat, hopefully, I'll address the chat. All right, Duckbook says, I wish there were a CD to accompany all the musical passages in this book. I completely agree. That could be like a YouTube playlist, I think. But the challenge, Duckbrook, is to not just to find the piece. Well, I guess, like I did with the Siegfried Idol, is knowing what the piece is supposed to be about, right? And then you can listen and you can say, well, do I feel that coming from the piece, right? And whether you do or whether you don't, it's still instructive to hear it performed. Because I almost said, well, it's only worth it if you can hear it the way Casals intended. But even if you know what to listen for, right? Cool. Tom says he really likes the idea of having a first principle. Totally. And Duckbrook in the chat says, I made a list of some terms and phrases that Casals uses to suggest emotion in our playing in the first chapter. Joy as in a dream. Here's the list. This is great. Joy, as in a dream. This is a list, so I'll just read them. Joy as in a dream. Mystery. Lovely. Tender. Sighing. strike to the heart's core, wonder, pain, lament, moving human experience, expressivo, agitation, suffering, grief, anguish, heart wound. Yeah. And they talk a lot in this first chapter. They talk. There are more stories about Casals, the guide, will say, either the orchestra conductor or working with a musician or whatever, really embodying, you can tell that he is feeling the music, and from that deep connection that he has, then he wants everybody to see that same vision, and there's many examples of that, like, saying pain, pain, and you hear the pain in Pablo's words. He's feeling it as he's telling you, no, play with pain, Tom Accordion says, as an analogy, when an artist finishes a painting or takes a pot from the kiln, it appears to, quote, always have been there. That's beautiful. I haven't come across that analogy before. Is that your own, Tom? That's really cool. I know what you mean. The feeling, for a musician, is the feeling, did I rip this off from somebody else? Is that a composition by someone else? Yeah, the impression that you have always known this artwork. Yeah, really, really cool. Let me check in with the other chats and see if anybody... Nope. Okay. So, can I check the... Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. The chats are checked. So, yeah, just something that Tom has noticed. Yeah, cool. Very cool. All right, so to answer the question of what is the first principle, as described in this chapter, and this is a wrapper or an analogy that the author uses. This is not Pablo Casals' idea, but it's what the author is using to help us understand what the author is shaping as the first principle, the most important thing. And so he borrows this from a Chinese philosophy, and it's the Qi Yun. My pronunciation, I'm sure, is wrong. The first of the 6 principles set down by the art critic Se Ho in the 5th century AD. That was a long time ago. In what is thought to be the earliest document stating the fundamental canons of Chinese painting. There are 6 principles, but the first principle... and then I'll tell you what the author says the first principle is. So sometimes defined as breath resonance, life motion. Breath resonance, life motion. So this is for painting. For only by coming into harmony with the vital cosmic spirit or breath could the painter convey through the movement of his brush the mysterious vitality of music itself. So the painter themselves, the one making the art, has to come into harmony with the vital cosmic spirit of breath. So I think they're supposed to be the same thing. And then through that, you convey it, right? And I want to skip to the end because he ends the chapter talking about the same thing. So let me just try and find the part. Okay, I'll just read the last couple paragraphs. While the painters of ancient China agreed that the indispensable attribute of a great artist was his ability to convey the indefinable quality embodied in the first principle, it was also understood that an artist will not succeed in expressing the first principle until he has mastered each of the requisite skills. And the other 5 of the 6 principles are various skills of painting. Form remains lifeless when not animated by spirit, yet, lacking knowledge and method, the energy of spirit will not be transmitted to the work of art. In subsequent chapters, we will look at the main features of Casals' teaching, the canons of his artistry, each of which is related to a unifying goal, that which the Chinese call the Qi Yun. So that's this first principle. Cool. All right, so that is the end of the first book club. It's not too late. There's a bunch of ways to get this book if you're interested in it. I feel like I'm QVCing. But it's on archive.org. I looked into that. I forget who said that last couple weeks ago, but you can get it on archive.org for free. It's convenient, but it's inconvenient, or it's free, but it's not that convenient. So you create it. I went through this to see if it was true. You make an account on archive.org, which I'd never heard of before, but it's very cool. It's like an online library. And then you can check it out for 1 hour at a time, and you just have to keep rechecking it out, I think, as long as there are like copies available. So I guess it's limited to how many. I also found it on Scribd, which is a website I do subscribe to that has tons of stuff. I don't understand how it's legal, but it appears to be. They have tons of books on there, and it's like $9.99 a month. Maybe it's a little bit more, but they have lots and lots of stuff. Tom Accordion says you can find it on PDF Coffee. All right, there we go. PDF Coffee, no account needed. There you go. There you go. So next week on the live stream, we'll be checking out the second chapter, which is a little bit longer. And the second chapter is called Finding the Design. So, okay, that concludes this segment. Fun. Book club all through the month. So now, let's get out of our headspace and get into our eyes and ears and heart space. Let's go to Zydeco. Voila. Les éléments roulés. They don't do that, I don't think. They don't. They're ours. They being Louisiana French. So, what did I find on Zydeco? What I found is it's such a vast genre that I really can't do it justice for today's stream. So we're just gonna enjoy a bunch of stuff for about 45 minutes, and if anybody has YouTube links, share them with me. I'd love to check them out. There are a couple documentaries, but I think that'll slow us down. Let's start right off the bat with, let's see. I thought what would be cool, because there's a bunch of, would be to check out some of the early greats. Clifton Chenier would be the number one kind of early guy who is considered the king of Zydeco. But also there are recent festivals. Like we started up with Rosie, Ledet first, and that's from an annual Zydeco and Cajun Music Festival in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the Jazz and Heritage Museum. And that was just from 2022. So we can check out some of those. And then there's a Southwestern Louisiana Zydeco Festival that we'll check out also. Why don't we start? Let's see. Let's start with this. Let's start with this one. This one's a good one. All right. I'm gonna go right on over to. Let's see. I believe it's this one. There we go. Okay. So. All right. Hey. All right. Okay. Let's check out. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. I got a bunch of stuff here. Just hit something. Let's check out. Oh yeah. Here. Gonna take it to the top. So, this is the 2021, the 39th original Southwest Louisiana Zydeco Festival. This is the online version. They're all in a room with no audience, I don't think, or very minimal. This is cool, and it's a nice variety, great concert, and good for us to watch on YouTube.
Now guess what? They coming this out.
I thought this would be cool too to watch like older musicians from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and also make sure that we're still watching new performances of Zydeco. So here's something from just a couple years ago.
Out West Louisiana to hear the Zydeco. I never forget where it come from. You know what I mean? Out in the sugarcane field, out in the rice fields, I never forget where it come from. I just wanted to go out there and spread the Zydeco and then invite people to come to Louisiana and enjoy a good Zydeco and a good bowl of gumbo.
A blue runner gonna get you every time. Yeah, that's why.
All right, I think that's another tune. I could be wrong. That could just be a breakdown, but it's a good place to stop. Wow, good music, good music. And if you haven't listened to tons of Zydeco, you might think, well, that sounds a lot different than kind of the earlier Zydeco. And let's listen to some of the earlier Zydeco now. I want to keep that page open. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that's good. I don't think I had this one. Oh, I do. Okay, cool. That's good. But we're gonna listen to some earlier stuff. Where's my? This is cool too. Here's a great YouTube channel, which is the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, and they put on lots of concerts. They do great stuff. They must have tons of money, but they put on these great concerts, and whoever their artistic directors are, they do a phenomenal job, I think. But there's so much good collecting of stuff in New Orleans. Okay, so my playlist here. We're gonna listen to some Clifton Chenier, some early. Here's a good one, 1969. Black and white TV.
Well, my name is Clifton Chenier, and this is my brother Cleveland Chenier on Washboard.
There's Cleveland. Clifton and Cleveland.
And also my drummer, Robert from Louisiana. We're gonna play all the music what's happening down home right now. They call the Zydeco. This is a little song they call Zydeco e Pasale. This is no salt in your snap bean.
That was a major 9 chords. Cool. Very cool. Another cool thing about that video, there's no guitar and no bass. It's just accordion and the washboard and the drums. Very cool. You can really hear what Clifton's doing with his left hand. Super neat. All right, let's go back to that concert and check out, let's see. Let's go to another band. Let's see, it's Jeffrey Broussard. Still Jeffrey Broussard? Oh, they got a violin. Here we go. Here's Leon Chavis.
I feel like a lot of Zydeco saved my life. You know, T. Broussard was the first one. He shared the accordion with me at the Zydeco Festival, and it was packed that year. I was scared to death to get up there, but you know, seeing the people and they appreciated what we did, it was like, that's what I want to do. You know, now at the time nobody knew me. I was playing all Boozoo music, and now I get to play my songs, and it feels good. Yeah. Well, I come from some hard times, and the music, I was able to just heal and find myself in the music. You know, so people used to always tell me, you're so talented, but I didn't have self-esteem. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I didn't really know. But in time, from having fans, okay, I think I could do it. I think I'm the man now, like Boozoo used to say. It's been great, you know, now to be able to see the youngsters picking up the accordion, you know, and they're asking me questions and looking at me like, you know, like I'm a legend, you know. Now, it took me a while to find Leon, so yeah, it's good. That's why you can get it, man.
Sasha.
All right, how about that wall? Boom. It was rim shots on 2 and 3. Not a whole lot of, yeah. What can I say about it? All right, I don't need to say anything about it. Does the music speak for itself? Can anything speak for itself? I had a bunch of thoughts. It's been a weird day. I'll tell you what. Been a weird day. Let's see. I want to go back to my playlist. Is this my playlist? No. Here's my playlist. We're going to keep on listening to the Zydeco. You know, I couldn't find any Zydeco tutorials that I was super happy with that were done by, I thought, like, Louisiana Zydeco musicians, for piano accordion at least. I found, let's see, I found this, which is called, where is that? My list here. I'm looking for it. Here. It's called a lesson, but let's see. Does he get to the lesson? Yeah, he does. He breaks it down, but it's just basically solo accordion. Check this out. This is Jeffrey Broussard, who's we saw
these 3 buttons on the pole. Yeah. That's
one of the best.
That's a minor. Yeah.
And the YouTube description says that this is plays Clifton Chenier's last farewell tune. I don't know what the title of this is, but that's kind of cool to know. You don't have that note. Wow, amazing. All right, now I think he's going to give the tutorial, which we're not going to watch because most of us, not everybody, but most of us are chromatic accordion players. But wow, that is a beautiful tune. All right. Oh, this is fun. This is a little Oprah Winfrey segment from 2008, I think.
Ledet's fast-moving fingers are the envy of accordion players everywhere. Hailed by the New York Times, critics call his talent spellbinding. A young prodigy from Louisiana's Bayou, Guylan says when he was just 3, his great-grandfather Delton Broussard, a famous accordion player, came to him in a dream and showed him how to play.
He came up in my dreams and gave me his accordion, and I just started playing.
Since that night, Guylan has never taken a single lesson. Today, this masterful musician plays to
Does he really play with his left hand on the key, on the buttons? That would be really unique.
Amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it looks like he plays with his left
What
hand.
do you love most about playing?
I like the way it sounds.
You like the way it sounds. Is it hard to play?
Not really.
Well, not for you. Yeah, because there are not a lot of accordion players. You know, it's like an art form that not a lot of people are familiar with how to do it. So what is the key? Your fingers being able to move fast, or what?
You just have to press buttons and pull open and close.
Yes. Was it frightening for you at first when you say your grandfather visited you in the dream and showed you how to do it?
Well, yeah, I ran into my grandmother's bedroom and jumped in and started crying.
Yeah, but then you, the next day, knew how to play the accordion. That's a pretty amazing story, isn't it? Pretty amazing. Hi, YouTubers.
That's pretty fun. Okay. Here, let's go back over here. Listen to some more music here. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, we got another band here. All right. Yeah. Let's see. All right. All right, here's the next band. Oh.
I just want to sing to the ladies tonight off that new CD. Et toi. Hey Kobe. Hey Kobe. I should. Right here. Right here. Well, I breathe you in without fail. And then I think twice before I exhale. You said you're not trying to keep. You told me you wanna be free. Oh, you wanna keep it nice. You wanna keep me low key. Darling, don't put me down. Girl, just try to understand me. Won't you come a little closer? Let me whisper to you. And I'ma say you don't have to worry about a single thing. Just let me sing to you. Let me just sing to you. Let me just sing to you. You don't have to worry about a single thing. Just let me sing to you. Let me just sing to you. Let me just sing to you. I want you to put it on me, yeah. When I get off, I know cheese, yeah. Don't be stingy, give it to me, yeah. Head down, a face up. Let's see you working this time of touch. Put it down like love. Put it down like love me. Turn around like love me, baby. Use your hand to make it right. Put it down like love. Put it down like love me. I know you can do it, girl. Let's see if we can find our Zydeco freaks right here tonight, Creole.
Very cool, very cool. 2 keyboards in that band. How about that? All right. Next, let's go back to Clifton. All right, this is cool from an old documentary. Let's see, what is this? From the Kino Library Archive Film Collection, 1970s Louisiana. Here we go. Clifton is gonna play Baby Please Don't Go, a classic blues song. Sitting on the porch. Let's see, and then they link to more archive. Okay, cool. Here we go.
We out here in the country where you was born and raised at, and I don't know where you at.
We make you catch us a rabbit back here, boy.
Well, I'm sure ready to catch it. I hope that rabbit going to Lafayette. I sure hope that rabbit going to Lafayette.
Boy, you ready there?
Give me what you do with the thing, sis? Give me the thing, girl.
It's over there.
That old.
I don't have nothing to do
What
with
is
that.
that, veal? Chatty toot toot. You gonna drink my cup, girl. You got it. Hey, no, that's the thing there right there. That's what Clifton Chenier was born and raised on. Yeah. That's what he started off on. That's what he started on. That. That's what he started off on. That's how he got famous. Clifton Chenier from double note to triple note to piano note.
I never played them kind.
Yeah, you played them kind. You can play them kind.
No, I can't.
Oh yeah, that's how you learn paper mache on them kind.
On the beginner?
Yeah, piano. This is where he started from, right here in the woods. Go ahead and wake it now. You know you can wake that thing. You didn't know snap the bottom, baby.
Just stop. If you know how to play, you don't have to snap the bottom.
Go ahead on, Mr. Chenier.
Il dit viens avec ça, il n'a pas rien fait avec ça. Il dit il a les droits à l'électricité. Mais il fait tout le temps. Et puis il range l'autre là. Qu'est-ce va le demander? Il dit, quelle qualité de droit tu gagnes? Moi dis mon gars les droits à l'électricité. Il dit, qui je t'ai dit?
Yeah, good. You ain't tried no more. Baby, please don't go, baby. Baby, please don't go.
daddy used to play
All right.
accordion, you see. And I used to.
All right. Cool. That's great. Very, very cool. All right. So some more Zydeco now. We've got all these. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's check out Keith Frank and the Solo Zydeco band. Keith Frank is great. Here we go.
Y'all doing all right?
WWOZ. So here's the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, and WWOZ is a public radio station down in New Orleans that's dedicated to local music, and it's phenomenal. And when you visit New Orleans, you want to go see music, you go to their website, WWOZ's website, and they have the Live Wire calendar, which has listings of like tons of jazz and folk, regional folk musics and stuff, all kinds of good stuff on there.
Right this evening. We'll do a little Zydeco for you, baby. Shoot.
I got a keyboard too.
Hold that tiger, hold that tiger, yeah. Hold that tiger, hold that old tiger, yeah. Hold that tiger, hold that old tiger, yeah. Hold that tiger, hold that old tiger, yeah.
I love the breakdown.
Yeah.
Hey. Show the bass player. Come on. There we go. So funky. I feel like chicken tonight.
All right.
Silly. That's very fun. Hey, all right. That's Keith Frank. There are so many Zydeco musicians. So many. Okay. What else do we got? Oh, let's check out Nathan. We've watched Nathan on the live stream before.
Is Zydeco all right? Lafayette, is Zydeco all right? Is Zydeco all right?
That's it. Short
Ledet.
clip. All right. Okay. All right. So, you know what? We'll do one last one. Let me check on the chat since it's all everywhere. All right. Yeah. Kind of a quiet chat today, which is great. That's fine. The last Zydeco tune for the day will be Buckwheat Zydeco, who's one of my favorites. Bill told me that Buckwheat was an organ player before, or maybe at the same time, maybe before he got into Zydeco, which makes sense. But I really like what Buckwheat plays. Let's see, this is solo, but let's check out this one. Buckwheat has a great, Buckwheat has passed away, rest in peace, Buckwheat. But this Buckwheat's World, here we go. You don't see it, but there. In memoriam of Stanley Buckwheat Durrell Jr. Passed away in 2016. But it's a really great site, just to kind of show you. So we're gonna watch this one.
You still ready to party?
Yeah!
Musique française, là-bas, dans la Louisiane, un petit peu Zydeco créole, la Judy. Et puis ça, c'est bon. Là-bas, dans la bayou. Down from the bayou, down from the swamps where I come from, where all the alligators got sold. I want you tell me what you gonna do when the Zydeco, pow, turn it up on you. Show me what you're working with. Now, wait a minute. Hey!
So cool. He has the sickest parts.
Tell me what you gonna do when the world die. You gonna sit around, you gonna wonder why. Tell me what you gonna do when your baby say bye. You just gonna sit around and wipe your weeping eyes. Tell me what you gonna do. Now when it's Zydeco, turn it up on you. Now what you gonna do?
Some of these shots of the video are not lining up with what we're hearing, but he's walking through the crowd. Oh, they get faster. Oh man, it's so good. Oh.
more, trombone. Yes, sir.
Damn. What a band. Hell yeah. Well, that was a good one to end on. Woo. Okay, the stream's not over, but the Zydeco portion's over. Let's see what happened in my video. No, not that one. This one. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. Pardon me. All right. Okay. Now, I feel like anticlimactic after that, but that's all right. Everybody's still having a good time hanging out. If you're watching this on the day or afterwards, still. Okay, so let's see. I got my little chirons. We'll go to this one. All right, so to finish up the stream today, July 4th music. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like, you know, you get older, you learn more about your own life, the world. Things are a little bit different for me now than when I was a kid hearing and playing patriotic music, but nevertheless, I would like to play one of my favorite, a tune that I have to hear every year, that I like to hear every year. Well, we'll get there. Maybe we'll end on that one. But before, you know, here's something cool that I found. My buddy yesterday we went tubing down the river in the middle of the day. That was nice for a few hours. And my friend said, oh, and I was telling him about the stream. I was like, well, I don't really want to do 2 hours of just patriotic music on accordion. He's like, well, what about marches? That could be kind of cool. And so I found, check this out. It's here, right? Let's see, where is it? Right, is that the one? No, hang on. Looking on the playlist here. Right here. Check this out. This is Patriotic. This is a recording that this YouTuber uploaded from a gramophone or something like that. Recorded originally in 1915. And I can tell you what, there's no Patriotic recordings on Spotify. But I've been thinking recently that with all this musicology, all this like exploring these different cultures, I was like, well, I haven't really heard very much of the early cats, Frosini and Patriotic, and Guido Darrow and those dudes. Like I've heard people play their pieces, which is just not been my cup of tea. But I realized I haven't really heard them play, and so I was happy to find this, and it fits our theme exactly. It is a John Philip Sousa March medley. And you can read about Patriotic here. He was a huge vaudeville star. In Marion Jacobson's book, she talks about how he maybe was like the highest earning vaudeville performer of his day, earning more money than anybody else. He was married, to Mae West or something for a minute. He was a huge, huge star. Here we go. Solo. I love that bass in the left hand. It's got tons of musicality. Gets louder. Ah, we didn't get here.
In the south of France.
All right. Okay, cool. So that's the only patriotic music on accordion that I have prepared for us. I have one more video. Let me check in with the chat. We're good. Duckbrook in the chat says Pietro Darrow arranged many of the songs I learned at my accordion school in the late 50s and early 60s. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed his playing. I don't want to put that on and hear an hour of that, but I want to hear more of his playing. He had a great time. He did a lot of really cool musical things. How could he not be a badass, you know, given his fame? Okay, so the last piece, and then I can go barbecue. No, I'm not gonna barbecue. Then I can go find a barbecue. The last piece is gonna be not my favorite version. I have a very particular favorite version of this.
Didn't have to be here.
But this is pretty close to my favorite version. So it's Ray Charles's version of America the Beautiful. There is one version where it's really cool because it has like it stops and then it starts again at the very, very end with a little tag. That's the best. But I thought this one would be more interesting for us. Next year I'll play my favorite version. This one is pretty fun because it's one of those like super singer, like pop singer super groups. So you'll recognize many of the celebrity vocalists and musicians who show up here to sing around Ray Charles's piano. This is Ray's famous version of America the Beautiful.
So I do want to say thanks again, and I'm going to try to get my drummer because he's been waiting all night for this moment. Just to play.
It's cool because he doesn't start with the verse that we all know.
Who more than self their country love and mercy more than life. What I'm singing about tonight, this America, sweet America, may God thy glorify, till of success be nobleness and
Quincy Jones and Stevie Wonder. I'm not going to be able to name everybody.
Spacious God.
Michael Bolton? So great. Michael McDonald. It gets you though. It's silly, but it gets you. Let's say it. I mean, that's hilarious that they do one chorus. Everyone comes out for one chorus. You'd think they do a double chorus, but nope, that's it. Hilarious. Love it though. It gets you. Okay. That concludes our July 4th live stream. Next week, I don't know what the theme is yet, but I know we will also hit the second chapter of the book club. And it'll be something fun and something cool and something engaging. And that's it. Stay safe out there. Enjoy yourself. Happy birthday to the United States.